Good morning. What's up, guys? Hope we're all having a good Thursday here thus far. Market volatility is up, baby. Let's see what we can do. We are sitting at damn near a 32 ATR. You're looking at a 2-minute chart. That's tremendous. Hopefully we can keep that above about 7 today as we come in maybe an hour from now. The last couple of days we've been seeing that ATR. Again, ATR is the red number at the bottom of your screen that says 31.89. It's always right there. I'm referencing it on basically every scalp. We've been seeing that tank about an hour from now every day from like 25, 20, 30 down to like 9. Okay. And as scalpers, that makes our job a little more difficult. Now, I'm not going to lie to you, 32 is actually a little high, but I refuse to complain when I've been too worried about low volatility lately. So, let's see what we can do here. By the way, yes, Joe, thank you for reminding me. Apex is 90% off, baby, with code BIG, B-I-G, 90% for like the next few days. Okay, go hit that. I am certainly going to be going and hitting that. 90%, man. The numbers look tremendous when you get the evals for 90% off. All right, we are 2 minutes out here from the close of this brand new, fresh, shiny 2-minute bar. Let's see if we get something. A couple of obviously big consecutive bear bodies. Kind of a doji little bear body. Inside close bull body. Market in the last 4.5 minutes is confused. So, let's wait until it's not quite as confused. And we can make a decision here. A lot of different decisions that could be made depending on how this bar and the next one close up. ABB, good morning. How we doing? Roy, good to see you. Five minute, what's up, brother? How we doing? All right, Bear's taking control here. HR on the rise, man. 34 now. It's up. We're seeing 50-point bars already a few times here today. 4 times since the open, we've had over 50-point bars. Actually, 5 times. That is tremendous. All right, well, our job right now is to sit, enjoy ourselves, and wait for setup number 1. So let's do it. Minute 56 out here on this 2-minute bar. Big wick back on that last bar here. You see that damn near half the sides of the bar was wick back. Bulls are trying to step in. It's too early, by the way, to call this a big bear trend. I would call it kind of a soft bear trend because we are getting some bull strength mixed in the form of course, bull bodies and then, wicks. So keep an eye out here. John, good morning. How you doing, brother? All right, we got 40 seconds left here on this 2-minute. Let's see what we get. I mean, listen, even if this one did close as a nice, clean, bare body, this big wick has me needing more information than that, because the bulls are not, they're not just stepping aside. I mean, we do have this little pre-market level where my cursor's at. You guys can see kind of right below 23.6. You can see that that level is right where my cursor is. Interestingly, pretty much right as, you know, where these bodies are closing, opening. Inside bull close. Next bar. All right, Bears are trying to put something together again. The Bulls, you know, they're not really having it. I think we're probably going to enter a little trading range here, if anything. It would be nice if the Bulls could just take it back upside here, put in a second consecutive bull body, and then a third, ideally. Because the second one, you know, might put us here, which is basically the top end of what could be a range. Which we got to watch out. Now, okay, listen. This is really a simple rule of thumb for me. When you have this kind of shit, you're like, where the fuck do I draw the line? I don't... Where would the average... Why are you drawing the line, first of all? Because of the self-fulfilling prophecy of what you're looking at. So the conclusion that you should come to, or that I at least come to, is, well, I should probably draw the average of what I think most people in algorithms would look at. And the average is going to be splitting the difference. When you have wicks like this mixed with wicks like this, I'd probably split the difference. Right? I think that makes the most sense. So we're looking at that range. We did put in a nice bull body, closed pretty much where we said. So let's see if we get bull body number 3. And then we got to consider the 5-minute 20 EMA, which I'll show you on my cursor, is sitting right about there. 646. By the way, depending where you're at in the country, or I suppose the world, the delay on the stream here should be one of the lowest on YouTube now, which is tremendous. Obviously, you know, with live broadcasting in general, there's always going to be some kind of delay. There's encoding going on both sides. It's impossible to be truly real time. But for a lot of you, you'll see the delay is going to be between 2 and 3 seconds, depending where you are in the world, which is ridiculous. That's as low as you can fucking get on the internet. Pretty much, at least on YouTube. Okay, we have, look at this. Look at this. Okay, I need one more bar. Little more information, otherwise I'm still a little concerned with this, I gotta tell you. Still a little concerned. This is a big range, man. ATR is sitting at 32. This range is damn near 60 points. Well, it is 60 points, actually. It's pretty big. I want to be selective here. Now you see, I mean, I really don't mean to be the Monday morning quarterback, but this is a learning experience in terms of probabilities. See, you got 3 consecutive bull bodies. A lot of people, they would hear me talk about consecutive bodies, and they'd say, well, you should have bought that. Whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. What did we just get? Did we just get something? No headline coming through on my end yet. If you guys see something, drop it. I'll let you guys know if I see anything. You can't ignore the context, right? There's the setup plus or times the context of the market. You put it together, mix it up, and you get a decision. Okay? If you just trade off of setups, it's going to be brutal. It's going to be frustrating. You need to look at the setups, which, by the way, are very simple. If you kind of understand what you're looking at, you can learn a lot of price action setups in like a weekend. I'm not even bullshitting you. Or like 2 live streams. And you'll pretty much know what I'm looking for. The slightly more complicated or time-consuming part is just seeing enough candles to try to understand context. With your discretionary decision-making, look at this. Look at this. To improve the discretionary decision-making. Put those 2 things together, and you're scalping price action. Maybe with an edge. Bella, yes, Apex is 90. We talked about that at the beginning of the stream. For a few days, Apex is 9% off. Code BIG, baby, B-I-G. I'm going to hit that up later today. All right, we got 25 seconds out here from the close of this 2-minute bar. ATR here on the 2-minute chart. Again, the period on the ATR is 10 for me. That's what I like to run, is 34. That's the highest, let me think. Pretty damn sure that's the highest we've seen in probably at least a week. Which is tremendous. But with ATR that high, I don't want to be sloppy on my entries. I never want to be sloppy on my entries, but you guys know what I mean. I mean, there's a little bit more leeway when ATR is lower. So when ATR is higher, I want to be hitting when it makes sense. All right, minute 20 out. Let's keep an eye here on these bars. Got to keep an eye on this 50% retracement. Right, you get the high a day, suck back in, put in some kind of bottom. And then you got to think, okay, the 50% retracement spot, why does it matter at all? Well, I mean, it doesn't, except for, it's completely arbitrary, except for the fact that it does matter, because when you look at all the longs who got in, a lot of people trade pretty irresponsible. You got to understand that when you're looking at the market. They're averaging down the whole time. They're not cutting their loss, they're averaging down. And when this comes higher, what are they doing? The average of all those positions is going to be about at the 50% retracement point, somewhere between like 35 and 65, 40, 60. So they can get out at break even. Getting out of break even when you're long who averaged in on a soft bear trend means selling, which does this. Happens pretty damn consistently too. Especially in range markets where people are averaging in a little more aggressively because they've kind of been getting away with it. In trend markets, this might happen for a few days or a week or two, and then everyone kind of catches on that it's a trend and you stop getting it as much because people stop averaging in as much. All right, let's keep an eye on this here. 38 seconds out till the close of this 2-minute bar. ATR 32. Big ol' inside close. There's nothing I can do there. Next bar here, minute 55. All right, things are actually developing well. ATR is staying high, but it's calming down a little bit. I really don't want to say that because the last few days it's been, man, ATR 7. That makes our life pretty tough. But I can't have ATR be 75. You know what I mean? Like, it needs to be reasonable, especially on NQ here. Because when you're trading prop, trading micros is the way to go, by the way, at first. 1000%. And if ATR is higher, I would say if ATR is like 40 plus, trading minis is probably not going to work very well because you're decreasing the amount of losses you can take in a row on any account size, even like the 300Ks at Apex. It just doesn't work very well. But it depends on your business model. So, you know, for me, being a little more aggressive now in this market makes a little bit of sense. You know, but still, I'm gonna throw it out there. Trading the micros, there's no ego here. Trading NQ yesterday, today, however long here, there's nothing to do with that. It's all just, hey, let's get a little more aggressive, and press it a little harder. And you know what? If you get clipped here and there, that's fine. That's fine. But you know, you shouldn't be doing that if you don't have some kind of data track record to fall back on, because your confidence is going to go out the window the second you lose 2 in a row. So I mean, like, listen, guys, it's not, don't get married to a security. Like, we would trade ES if we needed to. If NQ fell off the face of the earth, I think a lot of people would be lost. I don't care. We'll just switch to ES or the micro ES, whatever. All right, decent bull body. 2 minutes left here on this new bar. It started dipping down a little bit here, which is actually good. It shows a little more control. I like where that's sitting, about 28, 29. That ATR, by the way, for me, is tremendous, all the way down to like 15, even 14, 13. Start getting below 10, we start having, not issues, but it starts getting a little tougher for us. Just make sure my macros are working properly here. Okay. All right, we're good. All right, here comes the rollover. Now again, first bear body. In 8 or 9 bars here. Still going to be an inside close. You see that? Closing inside the previous bar's wick low. You start jumping the gun on that, you know, I mean, shit. I'm not a big fan when things are that aggressive, but you have to know it's there because, you know, the bulls do this. So trying to get short on this, I mean, you know, come on now, realistically, I don't think it's time. For me, comma, for me. Everything is comma for me. Do what works for you, man. Do what makes sense in your brain. I'm very much so of the belief that I don't think bad management maybe exists, but just a bad buy or sell, like a really bad buy or sell, doesn't exist in the market. And I know that for a lot of you guys are going to be like, oh, of course it does. What the fuck? What are you talking about? It doesn't. It doesn't, because the market would cease to exist if the worst, most horrendous buy or sell in the world did exist. Because this is always a game of 40-60, 70-30 in some really, really rare environments. Like a hard trend market, maybe you bump up to, you know, 70-30-ish at absolute most. But most of the time, when we're sitting here waiting, it's because it's pretty much 50-50 or 51-49. We're waiting for it to be 55-45, 60-40 probability-wise. So, if that's the case, then the other side always has a 40% shot. Is that the worst thing in the world, a 40% shot? No, I can think of a lot of things that have a worse probability. People will say that and then go buy a lottery ticket. It's like, yeah, but reward to risk is different. I get it, but the expected value is extraordinarily negative in the lottery. Okay, here we go. Here comes the rollover of this 2-minute bar. Big wick up top. Let's give this one more bar and see if we can get some kind of entry here. Want to see it stay controlled. ATR coming down about 27.9 now. How long does Apex take to accept or reject payouts? Put in my first request yesterday afternoon. Good work, Brandon. Good work. That first one. Maybe a little nerve-wracking. It's usually a couple of days. It's not that long. But it's not like you put it in 7 p.m. and the next morning you have a decision. At least not usually. Usually it takes a couple of days. But if it takes, 4 or 5 days, don't worry. There's nothing wrong. The stop limit sell ready. Give that about 10 more seconds here. And just see if we can get a fill. No fill, gotta pull it. It's about a 15-second setup. We gave it about that. No fill. Which leads me to wonder, okay, is this just turning into, you know, maybe flat top wedge? Call that a trading range. Couple of looks. Northwest got my first full payout from Take Profit this week. Transfer to wallet was instant, then the money into my bank was the next business day, super fast. Yeah, Take Profit is listen, guys. If you're like, I always say, I think Take Profit is a tremendous option if you're trying to bootstrap some security or going full time, and then when it's time to like start scaling and go a little bigger and make the numbers look better, you got to hit Apex. That's the strategy here that I think makes the most sense by far. They're both tremendous companies. I just think the use case is, you know, they're both excelling in different areas. Big old wiki bar. You see that inside close? Inside of that previous bar is wick high. Next bar here. Minute 52. I mean, man, so here, you combine these two to form that channel, right? I mean, we also got to consider, like, does this become a thing? God, I hate having so many lines on my chart, but does this sideways little trading range become a thing? And with these two meeting, it's possible for sure, right? I think for now, what we should do is get rid of that and just leave this. So we have the channel look, and then, hey, you know, does this become a flat top? We'll assess both as they come. All right, rollover coming here, 6 seconds. Big old wiki bare body. This market can't decide, man. We gotta let it decide something that we can bet on or against. When the market itself can't make a decision, how the hell are we supposed to? At least as scalpers. We'll break the ice here, don't you worry. All right, we're 20 seconds out here. I'm going to go ahead and get the copy trader engaged, and let's see how this closes up. Ooh, inside close in there. All right, we're going to have to give it one more bar. Minute 53 out. And we'll see if this wedge, well, channel kind of holds. In this level, it's never going to be an exact point. Just look at it as a range. And by the way, the 5-minute 20 EMA is right here. We're kind of stuck around that right now. All right, I'll tell you what, let's clean this all up. Oops. There we go. So considering a flat top up here, we know that's there at this point, so let's clean this up, let this market figure it out. Guess what we should show. Remember when we talked about this? That might be becoming a thing. All right, we'll keep an eye on that. Minute 10 out. All right, do we see an inside close? Here comes the rollover. And we will. Next bar, minute 56 here. Wow, so you guys know the whole thing with the Fed's cook going on? The White House made a statement, said that the Fed's cook was credibly accused of lying. About what? We don't know. But she's cooked, man. Yeah, Benjamin. All right, we are 28 seconds out here. We're getting a hell of a lot of inside closes, aren't we? This little range, man. I mean, honestly, you could probably draw it like this. I'm just going to keep the flat bottom. The simpler level is always, you know, it's always the one I want to watch. It's going to have the most eyeballs. All right, this bar is the first to catch my eye in damn near 30 minutes. Now, I want it to stay controlled here, okay? Meaning, if we can get this thing closing in the next 60 seconds, basically between this wick high and this wick high, that would be an entry for me to the long side. That's getting too big. We're backfilling the entire range in one bar. That's all right. 43 seconds, we'll get a close and a reset. All right, that's a big, really strong bull body closing inside of the range. So this next bar is one of the most crucial of the day thus far. This next 2-minute bar here, we're a minute 49 out from seeing it close. We need to see if it continues that bull momentum or if it respects the range. It's going to do one or the other here. Looks like we're going to respect that range, aren't we? Jesus, look at these bars. We're backfilling the whole range in a single bar, no matter what the volatility is. You guys, I'm always saying this. I really don't like when this market does this. When you backfill full ranges on whole bars, it doesn't really give you an opportunity, at least a good opportunity, to manage risk well. Reward or risk, it's all fucked up. And the probability is not great either. All right, we're 50 seconds out. This bar is giving me a trade idea here, but it would need to close as a small bear body. Small bear body close out of this, and all of a sudden we have something we can do. Right, that's going to close as a very, very small bull body. So we'll keep an eye on this one here. Minute 55 out from the close. Same idea applies on this bar, by the way. A small bear body closing near the low of the range, which, you know, I guess isn't small, it's medium. And I would want to bet against the breakout attempt, meaning get long. I draw this like this at this point. HR down beneath 26 now, coming into 25. It's pretty reasonable, I gotta tell you. All right, nice strong bull body coming right into the top end of this range. What stopped you from going long on the 904 bar? This bar here, range. We have this drawn? We did. We got a big pullback. Would have stopped me out. Didn't take it. All right. There's the breakout attempt. Let's see here what the Bulls can put together. Minute 15 out. All right, massive wick back on that previous bull body. Okay, now if the bears could, by the way, give us a close beneath this wick low without growing this wick high too much, that would be a pretty damn good structure for me to take a short. But I need to see this turn into a bear body without growing too tall. Bulls are trying here. All right. All right, Bulls, fine. Let's see what you can do. Range on this bar 16 so far. 17. Testing that wick high. Let's see. Big ol' inside close. We've had nothing so far except for inside closes and big wicks. At least when the context fits. Now, what's interesting about that is that's because volatility is slowly fading. It's down beneath 25 now on the ATR here on the 2-minute chart. 25 is still tremendous, by the way. That's still very, very good. But when volatility is high off the open and then it starts to fade, you get a lot of inside closes and often some indecision. All right, let's see if the Bulls can put something together here. I'm going to get the copy trader engaged just in case we get something here. We are 5 seconds out. I'm going to get a stop limit sell ready. Slap that. See if we can get a fill. Take that down one tick. There we go. Give that 10 more seconds here. See if we can get a fill. I do not want to participate if we don't reclaim this wick low. If we do, I want to see if we can come back into this channel, which I will delete the lines. We know that's there just to not confuse anybody. Got to pull that no fill. Next bar here, minute 40 out. All right, 90 seconds. Let's see how this bar closes up. Bought some Apex 150Ks using code BIG. Damn right you did. Those are 90% off. Apex, by the way, if you're just joining us, is 90% off today. with code BIG. Single day pass. Tremendous deal. I'm going to be hitting that up myself. All right, 46 seconds. See how the bulls can close this up. Bigger bull body. Coming into 30 on the range. I had day 742. There's the rollover. Big bar. Outsized bar. Need one more. I gotta tell you. See my cursor? That's the high a day. Do you think we could hunt some stops? I know we could hunt some stops if we get a decent close here out of the bulls. Maybe a close up towards 730-ish, high 720s, low 730s. We have 52 seconds to make that happen. But that would be tremendous if we could see that. So we can hunt those bear stops. Come on now. 30 seconds out, copy trader. I will get it ready to rock. Engaged. Bears stepping in. Oh, there's the bears. There's the rollover, big old wiki bear body. Not much going on in that bar. All right, next bar here, minute 52 out. Same ideas apply. Now, by the way, I mean, you see this? Big outsized bull bar. Quite a bit bigger than the average lately. You get long on a stop limit buy up here. You're sitting in the red, a few points, pretty much break even. And you're taking on nothing but heat so far. Contextually, I just don't think it's worth betting on huge breakouts in a market that's more of a range market right now. I mean, realistically, right? So to put that risk on, you're having to risk pretty much the whole bull body. You would not be stopped out yet. But the risk on that trade would be over 40, well, you know, maybe 35 points. With an ATR of 23, that's not a very good structure, is it? I know some of you guys wonder, well, why can't, you know, why didn't you get long above this bar? That's why. It's outsized, it's out of context, it's a trend market entry in a range market. Now, sure, are we seeing kind of soft bear trends, soft bull trends today? Sure. But we're not in a trend market. Don't kid yourself. All right, copy trader engaged. Stop limit sell ready. Slap that, see if we can get a fill. And we will. We'll get a fill. I will risk the signal bar here. and see if we can get a push. Now, if this channel becomes a thing, obviously we got to keep an eye on that. ATR 23. Bulls trying to take this right back up. Let's see here. Again, if they take out the wick high of this entry bar, the signal bar, we're going to want to cut and move on. Let's see if these bears can take it a little lower here. Widen out this range a little bit after that consecutive bear bar sequence. Volatility's higher today, so we're, these trades are going to be a little bigger today. 50 seconds left here on this 2-minute. All right, 10 seconds here on this bar. Risk, by the way, is offloaded to the computer. Bulls closing that up. Not too bad out of the bulls. Now, something we also got to think about here is, hey, does this turn into maybe like this? Does this turn into a channel, a range? Keeping an eye on that as well. All right, we'll get stopped out there. Bulls taking it higher. Testing that wick. All right, next trade. "65 seconds out here from the close of this 2-minute bar." Now, again, I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, well, I don't like that. That's really aggressive. And aggressive channels tend to break. And we're looking at this and I'm thinking, yeah, maybe. But that's pretty tight for the current market environment. I don't think it's going to respect that very long. For me right now, what's on the table is to see if we can hunt some stops up at 742, realistically. Now this trade, if we end up getting an entry here, we're starting to get entries coming more frequently. If we do get an entry here, I don't think this itself would be the, well, let's just see here. Copy trader engage for 12 seconds out. You have to get a stop limit buy ready. Place that. I'm going to give that 15, 20 seconds. Okay, and we will get a fill. Suck this back up. All right, minute 50 out. And we were sitting long. Now, if this channel becomes a thing, man, again, hey, we're going to learn that lesson quick. But cursor is high of day. Let's see if we get a push. This actually did turn in to potentially that setup for us. So let's see here. 90 seconds. See if we can maybe come into that high. I want to watch us come into that high. ATR is about 22. So pretty much well over, like 3/4 of an ATR would put us testing that high a day. So let's keep an eye on that. now, bulls. Take us up through test that little high. 742 is the high. Oh, bears are trying here. Now again, my cursor, that right there is the high of day. How many stops are up there? Probably a shitload. Because that was set right off the open. So I wanna see if we can participate. Now again, with ATR coming in, it's at 21 now. That we're about 15 points away from the entry to that high of day. So, you know, we gotta think about that. As far as coming into, you know, 3/4 of an ATR approximately as we test that. So let's watch here. You know, a little bit of heat is all right. I mean, we do have this, right? Kind of a soft bull channel. Let's keep an eye out here. All right, now, bulls, take it back up. Respect this little range. Again, I really hate to draw this because I don't want you guys to think that this is like a good thing to draw. It's not, but it's there. I mean, we know it's there. They just don't last very long, typically. All right, bulls. Here comes the rollover here, this 2-minute bar. Yeah, decent close. We'll take that. Small little bull body. All right, stop right beneath the wick low here of our signal bar. You see that? And cursor's back at high day. 51 seconds left here on this 2-minute bar. Now, listen, we got to think about this, right? Like, as we come into high a day, do I want to hunt the stops? You're fucking damn right I want to hunt the stops. But we also have to think, does that turn into a trading range? We've seen that happen quite a bit with these tight pushes turning into trading ranges. But I'm not just gonna gamble on that maybe happening. We just gotta take the setups as they come, accept the outcome. Let's see if the bulls can step in here, if the bears take out that low. All right, that's gonna stop us, man. Trade number 2 on the day. Let's move on, next trade. We got 7 seconds till the close here of this bear body. And that right there is gonna be one of the stronger bear bodies of this entire sequence here. So let's keep it pushing. What's ATR at now? ATR is beneath 20. Down to 18. I actually like where that sits. We were just talking about maybe half an hour ago. If ATR dips beneath 10, that's a problem. It's not a problem, but makes our job quite a bit tougher. Beneath 15, above 15, I'll say is tremendous. So sitting at about 19 right now is good. All right, 35 seconds. Kind of watching this wick here. All right, here comes the rollover. Likely to be an inside close. Yeah, inside close. All right, next bar here, 2 minutes. All right, minute 35 out here. All right, I'm gonna get the copy trader engaged. Let's see what we get here as far as a close out of the bulls. Get a stop limit buy ready here. Yeah, and I'm gonna place that. That's a 15-second setup. We'll give that 15 seconds, see if we can get a fill. And risk on this is relatively easy to manage. Let's see, 5 more seconds. Do we get a fill? Oh, we will. Barely in time, baby. All right, we're in. And ATR 17. Decent push. Bulls, keep it going. Be a better push. There you go, bulls. There's half an ATR. We got to pull that half an ATR. Got to flatten the copier here. And we're flat. All right, next trade here. 5 seconds out. There's trade number 3. We're getting a little bit of headlines here about EU and tariffs. Yeah, it's not a big deal. We're just looking at proposals from the EU. That's not really all that market moving. All right, big wick back. ATR is now down to 15, which means that these scalps are likely to start getting a little smaller in either direction. But when ATR, you know, the trade-off there is that when ATR starts coming down, it's funny. It seems like you start getting more trade opportunities, but each trade's a little smaller, so it kind of neutralizes itself. Minute 15. Let's see what we get. All right, 24 seconds out. I'm gonna have to get the copy trader engaged here. If we can see a bear bar closing beneath this bar's wick low, risk would be relatively tight, but I'm gonna have to get short using a stop limit sell only if we can get a bear bar closing beneath that wick low. Let's see if we get a last second adjustment. Unlikely. Yeah, nothing. There's the rollover. Next bar, 2 minutes. Look at this. There's a push. Damn it, those are my stops getting triggered that I wanted to hunt. Not my personal stops, but I wanted to hunt those stop losses. And that was them getting triggered, so that fucking sucks. That takes that opportunity off the table for us, but that's all right. 60 seconds out here. Let's see how this closes up. Man, that's a big bar. All right, guys, I'll be back in 2 minutes. Quick break. Be right back. Don't go anywhere. All right, welcome back. Minute 44 left here on this 2-minute bar. Look at these. These kind of sequences concern me sometimes because the risk is outsized compared to the ATR. I mean, the range on that bar, you're looking at... Is that right? Yeah, I mean, you'd be risking maybe 25 points by the time you get a fill and then put your stop out. ATR is 16. That's a little inverted, even for a negative reward to risk scalp trader. And also what I start to think of is, you know, I mean, right? That's a little bit of a concern. But we got to keep an eye on this because, of course, we could just break back downside and head down toward the 20 EMA on the 5, which is at 685, right about here. All right. Gotta get a stop limit sell ready. This bar is reasonable. Yeah. Ooh. You see that quick follow through? That blew that opportunity. That quick little wick through. Can't place it. There's nowhere to place it anymore. That's fine. Next bar here, 2 minutes. 20 EMA on the 5, 685. Right about there. Keep an eye on that. Joe, done for the day at profit targets. Very good work. Good work, good work. Nico, do you expect lower volume tomorrow ahead of the holiday weekend? I don't know, man. I mean, if ATR starts dipping beneath 10 early, I'm still going to be here. I'll do what I can. And we'll just take it as it comes. You know, I don't know. I mean, do people really take 4-day weekends for Labor Day? I feel like, you know, it being a 3-day weekend all the time, you can just leave Saturday morning or Friday afternoon, whatever. The afternoon will probably be low volume, yes, but the morning? I don't know. I think it'll be reasonable. All right, bit of a bigger bare body here, but kind of wicky. So we'll go next bar here, and we're also right at the 5-minute 20 EMA right here. That right there is the 5-minute 20 EMA. Well, a little higher right about there. All right, 90 seconds. Oh, these are a couple of big 5-minute bars, at least comparatively speaking. ATR is 18. kind of wiki. Shrinking bear body. Can't place that. All right, next bar here, minute 50. These bears are just taking over. The 6th consecutive bear body. You know, it's kind of interesting. I mean, sometimes you get sequences like this where there's just never really a good spot to punch it. I mean, up here we were testing the lower third of this trading range. Here we were testing this flat bottom. And where was... Oh, and the 20 EMA on the 5. 20 EMA on the 5. And now we're shrinking. There's just been issues with every one of these bars so far. But that can change here quick. 22 seconds, see what we get. All right, minute 20 left here. Let's see how the bulls close this up. For me to be getting long, there's some issues right now. First of all, we're coming off of a 6 consecutive bear bar sequence, but also the 5-minute 20 EMA, which has caused hang up today, is sitting literally right here. ATR is 18. And this bar is about 25 points in size. The bigger that gets, the tougher it gets to manage risk on a trade off of it. Yeah, it's a big old outsized bar, man. 30 points in height. With an ATR at 19, I can't structure anything around that. Here comes the rollover. Good, let's get that one behind us. Next bar here, 2 minutes. See if we can get an entry here that makes sense. All right, 52 seconds out here. Shrinking bull body. That's a good thing. Compared to that last bar. All right, bulls, close this nice and clean near the bar's high. Above this wick here. But within reason. And let's see if we can get an entry here to the long side. All right, copy trader engaged. 10 seconds out. Stop limit buy. Ready to rock? Come on, bulls. Give us a close. Good. Place that. We will get a fill. Place that. Let's see if we can get a half decent bull push. There you go, bulls. Take it up through. All right, minute 5 seconds left here on this 2 minute. HR sitting at 18. Oh, bears. Don't love to see that. Let's see how this bar closes up. Protective orders are out. $18 seconds here. All right, bulls. Take it up through. HR approaching 19. Good volatility. Let's just see a little follow through here. All right, bulls. Let's see some backbone here and a little bit of follow through. HR about 18. A minute 40 left here on this 2 minute. Now, by the way, if we can get a close out of the bears beneath this wick low, then I'm likely I'm gonna have to manage early. Protective orders out, so it would obviously need to be in between, you know, within reason, beneath this wick low, but reasonably above the actual server side stop. But we've got over a minute till we have to make that call here. $40 seconds. All right, let's keep an eye on that here. Protective stop is out just in case. Finger on the trigger, ready to punch out. Five seconds here. I'm going to punch that and we'll move on. All right, get flat. Trade number 4. Minute 52. Zay, 18 minis seems like a lot. Do you always use the same position size? No, not necessarily. If not, how do you decide on size? Well, you have to understand we're copy trading, right? So I'm only trading 1 mini in most of the accounts, 2 in a few. So is it like tremendous size? No, it's not. All right, we have 20 seconds left here. You still have that 5 minute 20, right at about 689.70. All right. Okay. 48 seconds here. Then we got that 20 EMA on the 5-minute right there at about 690. It's kind of right in the way. All right, guys. Hey, quick break. Back in a few minutes. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back. You guys ready to rock or what? All right, so 4 trades so far on the day. Kind of struggling here today, man. Let's see what we can get. We are minute 35 out. And we'll just take the setups as they come. All right, ATR 15. Those bars, they were, a little erratic before. Kind of all over the place. We would get a small little bar and then all of a sudden a big 35-point bar. A little more consistent here now, so let's see what we can do. All right, so I'm looking at this little channel here. We're 18 seconds out. We could look at this. You could look at this. But I want to see if the bulls can give us a nice clean close near the high. Okay, and if they can, I'd like to sell with a punch limit. Nothing there. Yeah, wick back inside close. All right, next bar here. Minute 52. Eric, you're damn right it is. Apex is 90% off evals and single day pass, which means you don't have to pass in one day, but you can if you'd like. You can pass in one trade if you'd like, though not that we necessarily recommend it, but do whatever the hell you want. Code BIG, baby, B-I-G. I'm gonna hit that up this afternoon, man. That is a monster deal. All right, next bar here, 2 minutes. HR sitting just under 15. This channel's getting tight. Whole channel here's about 20 points wide. Damn right, Pumple. What prop firm are you using right now? Right now, at this very moment, I'm using Take Profit Trader with Apex together. I'm trading I'm trading accounts with both firms. Appreciate you guys always using code BIG, man. Everybody wins. It's a cool thing. All right, minute 40 out here. We're in this brutal little channel. Let me draw it for you guys. I mean, right? Well, it's a wedge, really. And you know where this is? You know what's right there? The 5-minute 20 EMA is right where my cursor is at. So we're kind of wedging right into that 5-minute 20. Actually, here, let me pull up a 5-minute chart just to show you guys. You see this? I don't have the 20 EMA drawn on this version, but it's right there. And look at all these little dojis. So we'll head back to the 2. And see if we can get anything over here. So NinjaTrader is just the trading platform. I plug in the prop accounts using Rhythmic and Tradeovate. But that's not really like a set. I mean, it's kind of like separate setup, but you set it up with the prop firm. So if you're buying an Apex account for the first time, it's not like a 4-step thing. You buy the account and they help you plug it in using, I use Rhythmic for Apex. And then at Take Profit Trader, I'm using Tradeovate. Well, ATR is now down to 13.5. This is really interesting. It was really, really volatile. Just like an hour ago. And now we're here hitting this wedge right around the 20 EMA on the 5. All right, we've got 60 seconds here. See if we can get a nice bull close. I'd like to fade it if we do. And risk management gets pretty easy on that. So we know that this is here. Let's get rid of that. Just fresh set of eyes. All right. 10 seconds. Come on, bulls. Get nice and cocky. Bulls. Oh. The insecurity. Wicking it back. Saying, no. This is a trading range. All right, next bar here. Minute 50 out. All right, 20 seconds out. I'm going to get the copy trader engaged. And now that we're on a second consecutive bull body, the idea has changed a little bit. Let's just see here if the bulls can close this above that wick. So about 703.50, we'll call it 704. I'm gonna stop limit buy ready. Bulls! A bunch of motherfuckers with no backbone. They can't do it. All day, man, it's yeah, maybe. Then they suck it back at the very end. It's an insecure market right now. It just doesn't know what to do. It's all right, we'll wait for something to close outside. Get a good setup going, slap it on, accept the outcome. All right, 15 seconds. Same idea applies here for me. See if the bulls can close this above the previous bar's wick high. That's going to be about 706. No trade. Next bar. 2 minutes. How you guys doing today, man? I would bet there's a pretty mixed bag as far as where we're sitting on the day so far with that volatility this morning. I would bet that that's the case. It's okay to lose. Borneo, very good. Good. Good to hear it. We had Joe hitting his profit target. You know, guys, one of the biggest things that I can tell you if you care to listen, do not, first of all, if you want to win big, you're going to have to lose big sometimes to win bigger. Secondly, do not ever get your self-worth from your trading performance. It's fucking not worth it. All right, let's see here. 7 seconds out. Let's see if we get a nice clean close out of the bulls. Gotta punch it. All right, we are sitting long. We have a little flat top to think about back here, but that is an entry bar for me. So let's see if the bulls can give us a half decent push. ATR sitting about 12, and we'll take this bar by bar. There you go, bulls. Keep punching it through here. Oh, better. 3/4 of an ATR. Actually, 2/3 of an ATR. We'll take that and move on. All right, good little scalp here. Next trade. Minute 5 out. Damn, Christian, good work. Finally getting some follow through here. Oh, that was trade number 5. Let's update the counter. Finally getting some follow through here out of, well, either side. Which is good to see. Now, again, this is totally a discretionary look that I'm thinking about, but as this bull bar grows, we'd have to put on maybe 20 points of, I would have to put on maybe 20 points of risk in a 13 ATR market with this kind of thing. I mean, we really only have one touch point, but this kind of thing is not uncommon. So I'm not going to get long here. I'm going to need one more bar of information. At least. All right, we're 55 seconds out here from the close of this 2-minute bar. Now, after 5 consecutive bull bodies growing, yeah, this is a pretty damn big bear bar too, isn't it? Probably gonna have to chill out on this bar. I need 2 consecutive anyway. After a push like this, I need 2 consecutive bear bodies. Obviously, this is number 1, and it's pretty outsized compared to these back here, right? Which is why this was such a beautiful entry, because the bar was just barely pushing the limit as far as size, where we could still manage risk using the bar itself well, in a way that made sense structurally for the trade to still shoot for, you know, half to a whole ATR, which we got, I don't know, 2/3, 3/4 of an ATR. So, you know, that last trade was, structurally, it made sense. It was a good scalp. This here, though, that's garbage, at least for me. All right, we have 40 seconds left here. If this bar can turn into a bear bar and pull back and close beneath, honestly, beneath this wick would be best. This right here. Then I'd look to get short using a stop limit sell. Yeah, I can make sense of that. I mean, I'll get the copy trader engaged, just in case of a last second adjustment. Hands on the macros, ready to rock. But I don't think we're gonna get it, are we? Big old doji close. Oh, ugly. All right, next bar here, 2 minutes. Minute 22 out here. See if we get something good. You know, I'm looking at this and I start to think, we see this a lot, and later in the day, it kind of starts to happen maybe a little earlier in a lot of cases. So now I'm thinking, do we enter just a little sideways range here for a few bars? I don't want to front run it. If this bar closed as a big, strong bull body, I wouldn't short it because it's too hard to manage risk. I'd basically be using the high a day and that's damn near 20 points with an ATR of 11.8. But right now I'm just thinking, does this become a thing? All right, here, let's see. You know, honestly, if the Bears could close this nice and low. Yeah, I mean, all right. We're 27 seconds out. I'm going to get the copy trader ready. If we can, I mean, this is kind of a big if. If the Bears can take this lower and close it near the low of this newly developing trading range that is not incredibly obvious yet, but I would like to see. I'd like to bet on it if we can get a bear close. A bull close, I think risk of breakout's a little too high for the reward to risk that I'd get out of this. Yeah, that's nothing. All right, next bar here. Minute 56. Yeah, you know, I mean, shorting the high of this little range, it's just if this range was 10 points higher, I could make a lot of sense of that. Ooh. Okay, there's a new 2-minute bar. The problem is we're so low that to manage risk on it, I'm basically using the high a day back here, which blows away the ATR of 11 right now in terms of distance. So let's clean this up. And I gotta tell you, right here is high a day, about 52, 53. Okay, bulls. Can we go stop button? Is my question. "60 seconds out. Okay, bulls, calm down. Calm down, calm down. If the bulls can kind of hold it like right here and close up, I'd like to try to go stop hunting. High a day, right at my cursor. And to be honest with you, I wouldn't use a stop limit buy, I'd use a limit order. Try to get a bit better fill. It depends how this closes up. 33 seconds is an eternity here as a scalper. A lot can change. Honestly, I want to see a little bit of a pullback. Alright, 15 seconds out. Copy trader engaged. My cursor is the high of day. If the bulls can pull this back just a little bit onto the rollover, I can use this bar to manage risk and then look to punch through. Okay, we're going to give this a little bit of time, see if the bears can make a little bit of ground. Yeah, that entry wasn't quite good enough for me. Yeah, there's the punch through. That's what I wanted. Didn't get an entry. Fuck. No entry. It's alright. Punching it right on the rollover there, that'd have been a rule break for me. We were a little inverted. I mean, the high of day was a few points ahead, and the bar itself, you're looking at basically 15 points of risk. With the high of day, 3 points ahead, 4 points ahead. And how much push through you're going to get, that's actually a little more than I thought we'd get. So, it's alright. Next bar here. Minute 18 out. All right, dual rollover coming. This is the 2-minute rollover, but the 5-minute also just rolled over. And let's see here. Yeah, let me show this to you guys. So on the 5-minute chart, see how that closed above the previous wick high? So, I mean, that says something. Pretty wicky, though, on the 5. 2-minute even worse. Any of you guys punch that short up there? Shit, what a push. Bears stepping in, man, trying to pull that thing back. When you talk about being more aggressive on evals, for you, does that only mean increasing position size, or does that also mean taking slightly lower probability setups as well? For me, it means both. Because I'm just going to be straight up with you guys. The eval cost is too cheap for me to spend the time sitting around waiting for 6 hours for A setups. It's too cheap. Okay, so I increase position size within reason. I'm not trading 10 minis on a 50k account at Apex. But, you know, I might trade 3 minis on a 50k at Apex. Eval, not funded. But there's opportunity costs involved. And I mean, listen, if my expenses creep up a little bit, I gotta tell you, I don't give a shit. But listen, if you don't have a reason to believe that you have an edge yet, you should buy like a 25K or a 50K eval at Apex right now while they're 90% off using code BIG. Trade 1 micro and just put in a week or two and see how the data looks. You're probably going to find that the expected value is either negative or break even. If it's positive, you're onto something. If it's break even, fuck, you're 70 to 80% of the way there. All right, 50 seconds out, baby. Let's see what we get. "30 seconds. Let's see if the bears can take this a little bit lower. If the bears could close it beneath like this wick lower my cursor is, I'd be looking to get short using a stop limit sell. If they don't do that, I will not want to do that. And I don't want to participate in that to the short side. So let's see if they can do that. Take a pretty big last second adjustment. 5 seconds. Big old doji close essentially. Tiny little bear body. Next bar. Minute 57. All right, same idea applies here on this bar. Minute 9 out. Okay, 15 seconds out. I'm gonna get the copy trader engaged. You see this big bear body coming into a tiny little bear body? If the bulls can reverse this and close it above, basically above 738. Yeah, inside close. A whole bunch of insecure bulls today. Just not doing it. No trade there from me. Minute 53 out, next bar. So what's up with you guys? You guys trading, again, I know Apex is 90% off. I imagine a lot of you guys are trading evals today, or are you guys on fundeds? I've been seeing quite a few of you guys who were saying for the longest time you were on evals, all of a sudden you're in fundeds, which is obviously tremendous to see. Ooh, all right, bulls. All right, bulls. 45 seconds out here. Listen, it's all right, guys. If someone has you believing, I don't know of anyone like this, but if someone has you believing that blowing accounts is like the end of the world, they're fucking lying to you. That's bullshit. Because part of the prop trading game, you shouldn't be trading 9 minis on a 50K Apex, obviously, funded account. Yeah, we're going to give this one more bar. We're going to give that one more bar. You should be trading 9 minis on an Apex 50K funded. But like, listen, guys, like anyone who's making a lot of money trading prop has not had the same 10, 15, 20 Apex accounts for fucking a year and a half. That's not true. The only thing that matters is, on average, when you put all your expenses and all your payouts together, do you average a positive ROI? That's the only thing that matters. That's it. It's not like I'm passing every single eval I ever have tried. It's not like I've never blown accounts. Like, it's just, if someone blows an account and someone's like, haha, you suck, they don't understand the business model. If they're optimizing for never ever blowing, that's a problem. Now, again, there are different ways to operate this. It's a spectrum. Are you more aggressive? You churn more accounts. Are you less aggressive? You churn less accounts, but you're probably also taking payouts a little less often. How do you want to optimize yourself on that spectrum? The more money you make, honestly, I think it makes more sense because your edge is reasonably improving to go more and more and more toward the aggressive side because you can afford to. If your expenses creep up a little bit, guess what? Your ROI is just improving the return side even that much more. So, that's the reality of the prop business. I mean, come on now. All right, 10 seconds out here. See if this turns into a doji. Big old doji close, nothing. All right, here we got 26 seconds left on this 2-minute bar. Let's see if someone can close this outside of anything. All right, ATR 11.3. Really got to find something that I can structure that makes sense for me. As far as how to manage risk on it. Minute 20 out here on this little bar. ATR falling. We're down to 10.5 on the ATR. Okay. Copy trader engaged. 15 seconds out. Bulls. Chill out a little bit. See if they can hold it right there. Yeah, I'll get a stop limit buy ready. See if we can get a clean close. And we will. That's not a good placement. Place it right there. See, give this about 15, 20 seconds. See if we can get a fill. Two more seconds. No fill. I gotta pull it. You guys see that? We're within like 2 ticks. Didn't get a fill. No trade. Gotta pull it. All right, 20 seconds out here. I will get the copy trader. Ready to rock? Let's see if can we get a nice bear close. I'd like to get long off a clean bear close near the low here of this little channel. 5 seconds. I don't think we're getting anything. Big ol' ugly, ugly. Small bear body. Essentially a doji close. ATR is below 10. It's official. 9.94. 9.99 on the ATR. This is Ninja Trader. All right, guys. Hey, listen, Apex, 90% off, baby. Best deal they will ever run. At least as far as we know. Best deal that they do run. 90% off, and you can pass in a single day over at Apex with code BIG. You don't have to pass in one day, but you can. Technically, you can pass in 1 second, though I don't necessarily condone that. All right, guys. Hey, subscribe to the channel. I'm live scalping every single morning, and I will see you guys tomorrow. All right, Farewell Friday. Let's finish out the week strong. See you guys tomorrow. Have a good afternoon.